Hey everyone, welcome back to Get Off My Lawn. I'm Trent May. I'm here with May Financial Group. With me, as always, your Moroccan superhero, Mahmoud Boutam, Sprout Digital, and of course, our special host, Rick Garrett. Rick Garrett.
Thank you for spelling it correctly. Good Monday morning, everybody.
Literally every time I type it in, I'm like GARRET.
I love that. You guys survived the big snowstorm, the snowpocalypse, okay?
Yeah, not bad. It was
Awesome.
yeah. I shoveled instead of going to the gym, so that was a
Well,
change.
that's a good workout.
Yeah, it's brutal though.
It really is. We had ice under our snow, so that made it even more brutal to
Yep.
try to get up.
hmm
So anyway, well, today we're talking all about social media, our favorite and our least favorite social media platforms. I think this will be an especially fun show. Um, and let me ask you guys a question and kind of kick off. I'm going to catch you off guard here because we don't rehearse. We just kind of go in blind into these. I love off the cuff discussions. We'll start with Trent. Trent, what do you look to get out of social media? Why are you there?
I I try to limit my social media use on the personal side uh, to when it's not going to inconvenience anybody else. So I try to stay off of it when I'm at home. I try to stay off of it, if I have something to do at work. Usually, social media, and yeah, I always like rule number one for me is if I'm at home, stay off the Facebook, stay off Twitter, stay off Instagram, all that stuff. That's time for me to be at home. It's time for me to help out. I use it as just a quick little 30-second break, like a little 30-second refresh button. And so, because of that, I try really hard to keep everything positive, which is really hard to do on social media. But there's a lot of people I really like that I have a lot of respect for, or I just find them an entertaining person that have hit the block button or the mute button because they're just too negative online.
Right. I get that. How about you, Mahmood?
Um, Favorite?
Well, why are you on social media? What
Like,
brings you there?
well, I make a living off of social media, but it's like just like Trent said, like there's a bittersweet. It can be a nice break. It can be a rabbit hole. It can be positive. It can be negative. For me, it's Facebook. That's like where I have the biggest dilemma because we manage, like client accounts on Facebook and stuff. We do social media management. Uh, so it's really hard to draw the line between work and just scrolling. Like
Right.
all of a sudden you're there to work, and then you do like a couple tasks, and then all of a sudden you find yourself like just scrolling through videos or something like that. So that's why I did something like about a month ago. I deleted the Facebook app off of the phone. So now if I have to work on Facebook, I have to go to the computer
Right.
and do that from the computer. And there's less scrolling, obviously, with the computer.
It's so
Right.
smart.
That is
Yeah,
really smart.
Delete the
Uh,
social media apps off of your phone.
I've done
and
that before, and I keep going back, especially like when you're traveling, like you want everything to be right there on your phone. But if you're just, for me, I make a living off of that. Like I have to delete the app, otherwise, like my screen time is gonna go up,
Mhm.
and especially my Facebook screen time.
And then you're robbing people. You're robbing yourself. You're robbing your family. That's all time that could be used on
Yep.
better things.
Right.
right. Right. Right.
How about you, Rick?
Well, for me, it started out and it still is all about personal connections. I like being able to keep up with my friends around the country and in some cases around the world, what they're doing. One of my friends is a airline pilot, and it's really cool to see that. Oh, he's in Paris today. He's flying into Dayton, Ohio today. Another one of my friends is a long haul trucker. So I love personal connections. I love keeping up with that, and I love live tweeting events. Like there's a movie show that comes on every Saturday night that's all the old 1950s horror monster movies. And there's a group of a couple of thousand of us that live tweet those. So I like that. And of course, as a podcaster and an entertainer and a pastor, I use it to reach out to my audience and to my congregation. So, it's kind of a mix of personal and professional for me. So let's just hop into today. We're going to talk about our three favorite, each of us, and our three least favorite social media platforms, and maybe a little bit as to why they rank like that. We'll just keep the same rotation. Trent, how about you? Do you have three favorites you would care to share with us?
Sure. And want to say hi to Belty Cat. Belty Cat is with us.
Hey, Belty Cat, good to see you.
But yeah, I would say this goes back and forth. I would say least favorite has to probably be Facebook. Just because of all the, I don't know. I'm trying to find a nice way to say this. I do have clients on here, so all the self-professed Facebook doctors and like all the self-professed Facebook scientists, like all the negativity, all the this is what I made tonight's, like all that is on Facebook. And so, and this, the complaining, like that's something that's really ramped up since COVID. I have a really, really low tolerance for complaining. And so that has just gone through the roof on Facebook. And so that's something like I've had to just, even if they're close friends or family, I've just had to block people because I just don't want to see the constant complaining. I can't deal with it. Next is going to be Twitter. I love Twitter for things like you said, Rick, the live tweeting. That's a lot of fun. I'll do that during soccer matches. People will have fun with that. And, they'll, growing up here in Ohio, I didn't have a lot of friends that liked soccer or would watch soccer on TV. And so it's kind of cool to have this platform now as an adult. Like, there's only so many people I can call up and say, hey, let's go watch a soccer match. But on Twitter, I can chat about the game with lots of people. What I don't like about Twitter is, again, just the toxic negativity on Twitter. People will go on Twitter and complain about like literally anything that's on top of mind, or they'll say things to like they'll call out celebrities or people and say things that they would never say to their face or never say in real life. You're a celebrity, Rick. Have you ever had to block anyone over Twitter comments?
Oh yes. Oh yes. There are days the block button is my best friend. And I really try to do that. I feel like I've got a fairly high tolerance. But I look at how will it affect other people. I mean, I feel like I'm pretty good at taking care of myself when people, come at me. But then I'm thinking about other folks who are in on the conversation, other folks who are following the thread. And I have no problem blocking somebody if they become abusive, racist, homophobic. I have a really, really low tolerance for that. And, as a pastor, as an entertainer, I am all about profitable discussions when we have differing viewpoints. But when it degenerates into name calling, that's where I draw the line.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for that. And also just with Twitter, there seems to be a lot of politics still. And so the nice thing about Twitter is you can go in and you can ban certain keywords. So like right. I banned COVID a long time ago on my Twitter. Like I just don't want to see it. And so other things like pretty much any politician's name on both sides, I have put on my blocked keyword list on Twitter because I go there for a little 30-second refresh button. It's not my politics time.
Right.
And so, but I like Twitter for the good. That's what puts it in the middle to me. Is Facebook just is almost all negativity. Favorite right now, probably Instagram. People seem to still be having a good time on Instagram. They go on there, there's less words. They post a picture of a fun experience or a good time. Um, so far, as you can tell, I don't deal with negativity well. And so far, people seem to go on Instagram to have a good time. So, all right, Mahmood, you're up.
Let's see. So, three favorite are top three. LinkedIn is number one because that's, I don't know, just like you said with Instagram, it's a cleaner version of Facebook, like where you can go and get just, the business. I mean, sometimes other negativity like crawls in there and people start sharing the same links from Facebook over to LinkedIn. It happens, but for the most part, like it's, professionals talking about their niches and industries and what they do and all that stuff. So it's nice. It's nice to soak in that bath.
I get what you're saying. I have noticed politics kind of creeping its head into LinkedIn.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah, say the same thing with Instagram. Instagram is kind of like I think it was smart of Facebook to buy Instagram because it's like a curated Facebook, like a cleaner Facebook, but it's still Facebook. But yeah, just like you said, the Facebook Reels are fun. You're getting less negativity in there and less, stuff that you don't want to see. And then the third one for me is YouTube. I like YouTube because you can go and get exactly what you want and get out. Sometimes, yes, they're trying to be like Facebook and Instagram now. They have the Reels and all that stuff. So you get hooked every now and then and you go into a rabbit hole. But YouTube is pretty straightforward. I wanted to just mention something real quick. There's a Chrome extension called Feed Eradicator or News Feed Eradicator. And what this Chrome extension does on your computer is it would kill the feed off of Facebook or YouTube or Twitter or any social media that you're using. So when you jump into Facebook, you go straight to notifications or you go straight to whatever you want it to do. Like the feed does not pop up in front of you of everybody, like what happened, like it's just blank.
That's awesome.
They will just put like a quote, I don't know, the Mahatma Gandhi said this, and then the entire thing is just blank. All of the feed is just blank. So it was, I just started using it. It's pretty good. I jump on Facebook, I go do what I need with the notifications, and then I get out. There's no feed to look
at. I would love to not have a news feed.
Yeah. I mean, you can check the feed later if you want. Like you can just, deactivate it. But yeah, like it's really cool.
See, I really miss, not to jump in your thing again, but Wright State was one of and this was so random too, like why pick them? But Wright State was one of the first universities to get Facebook. So back in the day, you had to have a college email address in order to get on Facebook. And so I was on Facebook when it was like bare bones. And you were only interacting with other people like that. And so pretty much if you were on Facebook, it was to chat about what was going on that night. And that was it. There were no news feeds. Pictures even came later.
Right.
And so I remember that Facebook and it was amazing.
What year was that?
That was probably 04, 05.
Okay. Wow. I didn't get it until 07. And it still required a college email by then.
Yeah, I think if I'm remembering correctly, I think 05.
Okay.
But yeah, Wright State was early for whatever reason. I don't know. And yeah, it was all about what was going on that night. You didn't have to worry about the lady from across the street being on there. It was just you and your friends, and that was it.
Yeah. It grew.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the Eradicator, look it up, guys. The Chrome extension, the Feed Eradicator, and just try it. It's pretty good. Least favorite. Least favorite is let's see, Twitter. Obviously, I have Twitter. I don't use it. I don't know. I should probably learn how to use it. The only way I use it is like to search. Like Twitter's got a really nice search feature, like just to see.
You're supposed to go on there to call out celebrities and complain about politics.
I can't do that. I don't have the time to do that. So I just don't use Twitter. Like even I don't have an app on my phone. It sometimes like some of my Instagram stuff will go over to Twitter if they're talking, but sometimes they would disconnect and I wouldn't post on my Twitter for forever. But if you go there, it's just a link to my Instagram, really. The search feature though is pretty neat in Twitter. Like you can search like what's going on, like all the trends, like what are people tweeting about, and you get to kind of tap the pulse. So if you're into that, I mean,
that is cool. I will speak to the search feature. There is like Columbus Crew news I've learned before it was out there.
Right.
You
can set alerts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I heard about a bombing in I forget the country now, but there was not a bombing. It was like a big factory explosion in some country last year, and it was
the Lebanon one.
Yes,
Beirut.
Yes.
That had like some chemicals and
that one. It was all over Twitter before it got picked up by a news outlet for probably a good 20 minutes.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and it was pretty tragic. Yeah, the search is really cool because there's advanced features and you can be like, what are people searching in this area? And like the people that not searching, but what about people tweeting in this area? And you can like go to the specific city and see what people are tweeting in that city. And you can pick up the news faster or whatever like social news is trending faster. And then my least favorite is Twitter, and then Pinterest because I don't understand it. I have Pinterest, but I don't. My wife is really good at Pinterest. You know, she's really, that's like her thing. But I don't know. I tried it. I like picked I optimized my profile, picked all my interests, all that stuff, and it was just like not for me. So.
Funny story about that is like I tried to make a recipe one time and it was like on Pinterest and like you had to like set up an account and pin it before it would let you see the recipe. And I was like, heck with this. I'm going to move on to something else. Goodbye to your recipe. Also with that, this is another get off my lawn rant. But if you tell your life story before giving me the details of your recipe, I'm not making your recipe. I'm not going to scroll through your life story in order to make lasagna. I'm not.
And that's what YouTube is for. You know, you just go in and out, you get your recipe, you see a guy cooking it, and then you get out and you go do it. And you go cook whatever that is. So Pinterest, maybe I should learn it more. Maybe I should find my way around it.
I think you should bury Pinterest.
Or just bury it, just like Trent said. And then the last one is Facebook because at least favorite, but also like the most needed because I don't know. I feel like Facebook is like holding everything hostage. Your friends, your contacts, your memories, your pictures, your videos, your work. For me, everything's held hostage. So you have to go in there to get whatever you need. And by going in there, you fall into the quicksand, and you just go deeper and deeper. Into the what is that? The rabbit hole?
The rabbit hole.
The maze. Right. Yeah. So it's bittersweet.
I think you're up, Rick.
Okay, so favorites, probably in order. Nobody's mentioned TikTok yet. I love TikTok, and I am so surprised at that because I'm like 40 years older than the average TikTok user. I'm like way older. And somehow in less than a year, I've amassed like 12,000 followers, and regularly have videos get over 100,000 views.
That's pretty cool.
And it's really it's really allowed me to spread a message of positivity through music. And I found that's a really great platform for me. It lends itself well to discussion in the comments. And I'm amazed. I started it thinking, I really ought to see what this is all about. And it's just been a really, really incredible experience. I do lives on there about trivia and positivity and music, and you know, rarely have thousands of viewers, which is just kind of blows my mind. Do a live show every Wednesday and Friday, so that's my favorite. It's much different than what I anticipated. My second favorite is going to be a tie between Twitter and Instagram. I like Twitter because, like TikTok, it lends itself well to discussion. You can follow a thread in the comments and really have a good discussion. I love the ability, like Trent said, to block certain keywords that I don't want to get sucked into. And the tie with that would be Instagram. I like Instagram because it's such a visual. You can just go look at a pretty picture, read a short caption, and go on to the next thing. Mahmood talked about getting sucked down a rabbit hole. That's kind of YouTube for me, because I'll go on to learn a new song, and suddenly, in that sidebar, there are 7 other songs. The next thing I know, it's 2:00 in the morning, and I'm trying to work out songs to the 14th song I've seen. So kind of a tie for second is Twitter and Instagram, and third is Facebook, but with kind of a caveat. I seldom look at my news feed anymore. I'm all about the groups. I belong to a bunch of groups of folks that have common interests that I do, and that's been really good. And most of the moderators do a really good job of keeping the groups on topic. We're here to discuss whatever it is, not what the president did or vaccines or anything else. So I really like Facebook, but specifically for the groups feature. My least favorites are 2 that I just don't understand. Well, I'll say 3, because Mahmood mentioned Pinterest, and that's the same with me. Like, I've signed up for an account and I tried to figure it out, and it's just beyond me. I don't understand how it works. The other 2, Snapchat, which I think is still wildly popular. Somebody said that'd be a good way to promote my podcast, but I don't really see the value in it. And I don't understand LinkedIn, but I do think that's kind of more. You guys can talk about this. It may be more focused towards I guess we would say, the corporate world than somebody like.
I'll speak to that a bit, because I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I already said I don't get Pinterest, and I think it's too restrictive and just stupid. I'll just say that. Snapchat, I consider that to be more of an app for like sneaking around teenagers. I think that's what Snapchat is really meant to be for, is teenagers who just don't want to get caught doing what they're doing. LinkedIn is really like, I don't know, like 9 out of 10 messages or friend requests I get on LinkedIn is from people trying to sell me leads. So I don't really use LinkedIn much anymore, because it seems to all be advertising now. How about you, Mahmood?
I would agree. It is because they opened up the ad door, I guess. I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. I don't remember when they did that, and it hasn't been dialed in yet. Like, I've ran ads on LinkedIn and they didn't perform. And I have received a lot of ads that I don't really relate with. So I don't think the ad system in LinkedIn is like tight yet. It's not dialed in yet.
It's always like, I have 50 clients in your area.
Right. Yeah, it's weird. They need to tighten it. I think Facebook's got a better hold on it. Maybe too much of a hold on it. That's like, sometimes the ads don't even go through. But LinkedIn is really good for organic networking, organic relationship building, and it's got the group feature, like for Rick. Like, there's the group feature, just like Facebook. So you can tighten your network and narrow it down even more.
So I will say, you both mentioned YouTube. I completely neglected YouTube as a social media platform, but I do love YouTube. I will, instead of like pulling up Netflix or something, I will usually take like a 5-10 minute lunch and then get back to it. And so YouTube is great for that, because you can find a nice little 5-6 minute video and then get right back to it. What I don't like lately about YouTube is all the ads. Like they have just been bombarded with ads lately.
Yeah.
And like we pretty much, and it's making me lately, I haven't been on YouTube nearly as much because like we've made the conscious choice to, like, instead of doing Hulu, we're going to do Hulu ad free. And instead of doing just regular Peacock, we're going to do Peacock ad free. And like we do a rotation. It's not like we have all these streaming platforms at once. We don't have that much time to watch TV, but we'll rotate them. Like we'll have Hulu for a while, or we'll have Peacock for a while, or HBO Max for a while, and just kind of rotate those. So that way we don't have to see all the political ads and all the H&R Block ads, all the Edward Jones ads, all that stuff. It's constant. And so
I kind of have a love-hate relationship with YouTube. I didn't realize this so recently, but it's the second largest search engine in the world. I saw that stat and that kind of floored me, but it makes perfect sense because you can learn how to do anything on YouTube, right? I mean, you can find a tutorial on how to change your headlight or how to bake a certain kind of cookie. So it makes perfect sense. One of the things that kind of aggravates me about YouTube is you can monetize yourself on YouTube if you have 1,000 followers and X number of minutes of watch times a month. But if you don't reach that, your videos still have the same number of minutes of ads per video as a monetized channel. So they're still making, money off of you, whether you're monetized or not. And Mahmood probably knows more about this than I do, but that seems a little bit unfair to me. And maybe other platforms do that too.
Yeah, I mean, even if you don't reach the qualifications or whatever, YouTube will still make money off of your videos. If they're public, then you consent to them running ads before they play your video, and they make money and you don't make anything. That's like your entry fee into YouTube. Like you got to contribute to them. You got to contribute to them before they can, start contributing to you.
That makes perfect sense.
It's just a little annoying when I'm watching a Sam the Cooking Guy video trying to prep dinner, and in mid chop, like an ad pops up, and I'm like, "What next?" Like,
yeah, those ads that they put, like if the video's long, they would like put 12 ads in it. The same thing is with Instagram, Rick. Like I think you need like 10,000 followers to get the click up or whatever. That
swipe up. Swipe up link.
Yep. But I think they just added the link now, so you can add a link. So I don't know if you still need the 10,000 to. I think I saw a link feature on mine one time. So I think you can just click now.
You can on stories. Anybody can add a link, but it's still. I think you have to have 10,000 followers to add a link, like in a not in a story, but in a caption. I could be wrong about that, but I do know they recently released anybody can put a link in a story.
Cool,
which is really good for us that maybe have a product, whether it's a podcast or a coffee mug or whatever.
Yeah, that's how we share information now, just links.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Well, fun discussion, guys.
Yeah.
You mentioned TikTok. I just want to add on that. I'm not there yet with TikTok. I have it, but I think the reason why I haven't jumped on is the algorithm there is pretty powerful. The videos start playing and scrolling immediately, so they there's that grip factor with TikTok. So I don't. That's why I don't want to mess with it. And the second reason is those videos are kind of already on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook with the reels. Like it's the same style now, and a lot of them are actually watermarked TikTok. So that the fact that those videos can be posted on other platforms, just like why bother? Those same videos are on YouTube.
Do you have the dance moves for TikTok?
I do not. Which is really interesting that I get all this reach on TikTok because I essentially do what I'm doing right here now. I sit at my desk and I talk, and I give fun facts or trivia. Nice. I don't dance. I don't do cartwheels but it's been a really, really incredible experience.
It's great for FAQs.
Oh my gosh, it is.
Yeah.
And as a marketer, stepping kind of over to the professional side of it, that's the platform that sends the most traffic to my podcast. I promote my podcast on Facebook, Instagram,
Nice.
Twitter, but I get the bulk of my listeners from TikTok, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
I think TikTok, I think I heard this not long ago, is where you can get the most organic reach right now.
That is correct.
Without having to pay and do all that. So you can have a random successful TikTok video like you could back in the day with YouTube.
Right.
Now on YouTube, that's just not possible.
Yeah.
Yep. Great discussion today, guys. If you're watching this, leave your comments below. Let us know about your favorite and least favorite social media platforms. Did we get one way off base? Let us know.
Yeah, if you know how to do Pinterest, let us know, because obviously none of us has a clue about that.
We could use the help.
If it takes more than 4 sentences, though, I'm not reading it. All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks. We'll see you guys
See ya.
next
Have
week.
a great week.
See ya.